The thoughts and opinions are those of each individual voice on the podcast and do not necessarily represent the policies of Cedar Valley High School.
Welcome to Aviator Airwaves, the official podcast of Cedar Valley High School, where we keep you updated on everything in the halls, on the fields, and in the classrooms and beyond. I'm Derek Reynolds. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Cedar Valley, and we're going to spotlight the stories, achievements, and events that make CV soar. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and share the show with your fellow aviators. If you've got a story, a shout out, or an event we should cover, reach out. After all, this is your podcast. Before we jump in, let's talk a little bit about who's on the mic with us today. So we have Abby McKenna. Abby, tell us something interesting about yourself.
Oh my gosh.
I've known Abby for a little while now. Last year and this year, are you from Cache County?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What city exactly?
North Logan.
Okay, so there's a little town on the way to Logan that starts with an M.
Millville?
Nope.
Mendon?
Nope. Mantua?
Manaway. In the canyon?
Manaway.
Yeah.
But how do you spell that?
Mantua.
And it's called Manaway.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a silent T in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ruined my car in Manaway, Manaway Canyon.
Sure, it was somebody else's fault, right?
Middle of winter.
Yes.
My engine exploded. Yeah.
Yeah. Darn those engines. So,
yeah.
We also have April Triggs. April, how are you today?
I am awesome today.
Good. I have known April for quite a few years. I worked with her at Frontier Middle School before Cedar Valley, and she had a different role there, actually, but she went back to school and got her counseling degree, and now she is a counselor here at Cedar Valley, and I get to work directly with her with our students that we share an alphabet on. So April's fantastic, so just a great person that we love to have on the show today. And then we have Mitchell Hart. Mitchell is also our girls' soccer coach, but does so much more within the building and just a great personality that people love. Mitchell, how are you doing today?
I am amazing. Thanks for having me on.
Mitchell, that sounds like a little bit of an accent. Are you from like southern Utah County or
North
Canada?
Texas.
North Texas.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to pick up on that one, so... Well, darn it. Okay, well, I'm excited today. We have a topic something that is near and dear to my heart because there's a lot of students that struggle with social emotional wellness, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But before we do, I want to talk a little bit about your favorite holiday treats, and I'm going to start on this one. I used to be, and I probably still am if I let myself go a little bit, but I love eggnog, and some people cannot stand it, but I absolutely love a good glass of eggnog. So one of my favorite holiday treats is eggnog, and then I would say like anything with toffee in it is probably the other one. So,
Hey, Derek.
Yes.
Do you drink it straight?
I
eggnog?
drink it straight.
You don't
yes.
add anything to it?
You know, you can, but what's the point in watering it down or putting Sprite in it or anything like that? Like drinking eggnog straight.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
The nectar of the gods, right? That's pretty good drink. So anybody else have a holiday treat they want to share and love to talk about?
I can talk about something. So in England, our food doesn't have any flavor. And so all the cookies that you guys make out here are amazing. So I'm a Christmas cookie guy. So I make my wife make all these type of cookies, and I think they're absolutely amazing. So that's why I weigh and look the way I do now. When I, coming out to America, I joked with a kid earlier that I was 175 when I moved out here, and now I'm just under 250. So it's all because of the food.
That's a cookie belly, huh?
100% a cookie belly.
All right.
Everything's bigger in North Texas.
That's right.
it.
That's right.
My grandma makes caramels every winter, and they're so good. And my mom makes the best fudge ever. So those are my two treats.
That's awesome. Okay, April,
Oh,
you were going to judge me for my straight eggnog, so let's hear what you got.
If people could see me right now, they would see that I'm wearing one of my favorite treats, candy canes.
Oh.
I love the peppermint.
Peppermint, the original.
The peppermint ice cream from Farhouse.
Have you had the Chick-fil-A peppermint shake?
That's one of my favorite things. to
Amazing.
have. It's the best thing
Incredible.
ever. Anything peppermint, anything candy cane, crush up those things, put them on anything. That's what I love at the holidays.
Dang, that's awesome. Well, it gets me excited for, the break that's coming up in a few weeks and some of the good things we get to eat. So, but let's go ahead and start talking about our topic today. So today we're going to talk about sources of strength, and a lot of our listeners may not know exactly what that is, but recently there's kind of been a noticeable increase in schools implementing these social emotional wellness programs that focus on mental health, and Sources of Strength is one of those programs. And there's a lot of reasons that we do that, but let's kind of break it down and talk about exactly what is Sources of Strength and why is it important for students here at Cedar Valley to be involved in that. Abby, do you want to kind of start us on that?
Yeah. A lot of times when you think of like mental health programs, some people might think of a lot of trauma sharing. But Source of Strength is a strength-based wellness program, and the goal is just to help kids build resilience and focus on the positives they have in their lives. So it teaches them to notice sources of strength they already have. So like family, good friends, mentors, healthy activities, any spiritual or cultural traditions they have. And it teaches them to handle challenges in healthier ways.
Yeah, I like that. And, we talk so much about treating the holistic child, if you will. Everybody's unique in the way they're made up. And so I think it's important just to realize that it's not just one element, that it's all these elements. And I think I saw April walk in with kind of like is it a wheel? Is that what you call it for Source of Strength?
Yeah, the wellness wheel.
Wellness wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have that handy somewhere?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us what the different aspects are or different parts are of that wheel?
Sure. I love what Abby said. It is a strengths-based program where we want to focus on prevention rather than reacting to the negative around us. What strengths do we have within us already that we can access when we're struggling to help us get to the next thing? And so on our Sources of Strength wheel, we have our mental health, those things that help us boost our positive mental health, family support, positive friends, mentors, those people around us that we can look to for strength, healthy activities, generosity, a big thing we are talking about this time of year, spirituality, and physical health. All of these things come together to help us be a protective factor to, any I guess, bad things that may happen to us. Bad things happen to everybody every day. How we react to them is what matters. And if we can focus on the strengths within us, we can get to the next day and the next good thing. So that's what Sources of Strength is all about, and that's why we love it here at Cedar Valley.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that. And I think in talking to our school-based therapist and our deputy that works here as our school resource officer, they were saying that there's more of a need around the holidays in our reality than other parts of the year. And I was a little surprised by that, but as I pondered that and thought about it a little bit, it makes a lot of sense. Everybody comes from a different situation and not everybody has that support system in place. So I think this is a great time to look outside ourselves and look at and see who we can build up and help at this season, this time of year. I'm going to jump around a little bit. I hope you guys don't mind, but I want Mitchell to talk. So yesterday they went on a field trip to the aquarium. Maybe talk a little bit about the purpose of that, why we took some students from Sources of Strength to that, and then just kind of what those kids got out of that experience.
Yeah, so we've done lots of different campaigns. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But the kids have been super busy working on ways how to help other students here and even other teachers. So we talked about, this is about the student and student connection, but we also want to involve the teachers and, they're here too. And sometimes we forget about that we deal with some of these things as well. So, and bring that realism part into it where students also see the teachers, have problems with these kind of aspects on the wheel as well. And dealing with these mental things, sometimes bring that realism part to it. So our field trip yesterday was just kind of a Christmas thing for us, to kind of celebrate the kids and the hard work that they did. They just really wanted to go to the aquarium. And so it was kind of more of a bonding activity for us. And a thank you from the school. Courtney Johnson was the principal, was one that helped us with this as well in thanking these kids for what they've done, because sometimes the things we talk about and the things we have to plan and can be hard, and some of the things we talk about can be hard too. So it's a big thing to thank them. So yeah, we went yesterday. We went to the aquarium. We we bonded with each other. We saw some sharks and some penguins, and we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for the kids to hang out and just kind of get to know each other a little bit more than just talking about the wheel and talking about some, sources of strength ideas. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're able to build those connections while at the aquarium. And one thing you realize is as they start to talk to each other, they probably find that they have more in common with some of these other students than they realized initially. So that's a really great activity. I love the aquarium. I know somebody else that loves the aquarium, and that would be Abby McKenna. Abby told me a little bit about her experience with the aquarium earlier today. Sorry, not her experience at the aquarium today, but previous experiences at the aquarium and why she loves it. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit about your history with the aquarium?
Yeah, so my first couple years teaching, obviously teaching is tough, but I was dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety, and I was just told to find something for me that I could go do and to kind of escape from the job. So I love the aquarium. So I started going to the aquarium all the time. I'm a season pass holder, and I just go sit with the sharks and just lowers my anxiety and calms me down, and it's just the best place in the world.
Yeah, most people that sit with sharks actually have higher anxiety, so I'm glad that it does it for you, so I got to learn that, and then I'll go there whenever I get overly anxious and sit with the sharks, because that's not going to add any additional anxiety. So, and April, you've been there a few times. I mean, I think you helped, we had prom there, hosted there last year, and I think you were at the prom.
Yeah, that's been the second time we've had prom there. I think we're doing that again, and that's a great place because so much to look at. It's so calming. Water is calming for me too. Just watching the water and the blue and the animals in there floating around. It's a great place to go.
Yeah, they should probably they should probably pay us now that we've almost made them an official sponsor of Cedar Valley.
You know, the first time I went to the aquarium for prom, a cockroach almost got on me. Did I tell you that story? I know. That was not a good time, but most of the time it's great there.
Well, now you have to tell the story.
I was walking around with my open-toed shoes because prom, and a student said, "Hey, there's a cockroach almost on you." As I was walking around the aquarium, there's cockroaches walking around the aquarium. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
That's crazy.
I know. I freaked out. It's a good thing the
like
students were looking out for me. Our students were looking out for me.
That sounds like a health code violation.
I know. You would think maybe it's a food source. I don't know, but there are cockroaches walking around that place.
Yeah, we just lost our sponsorship, I think, for that plug. So.
Our students, though, the reason why I share that is our students was looking out for their counselor, and they told me, and they protected me, and it was wonderful. So it was good.
Yeah, that's neat. I love the aquarium. Mitchell, tell us a little bit how you would build a school culture, or how do we build a school culture here at Cedar Valley by implementing this Sources of Strength program?
Yeah, so the word culture is thrown around a lot, especially in athletics. You want to build a culture of, I know Coach Gonzalez and everyone here is trying to use the motto, build a culture of excellence. So it's really, really hard to do. So with Sources of Strength, it's a peer leadership model. So the students are the ones helping us build the culture, because, you only listen to adults in certain aspects, but coming from students connect better with students. So building a culture of this Sources of Strength has been really tough. It does take a lot of buy-in from everyone as well. At the beginning, I think we saw the struggle. We'll talk about some activities we did, but we did a field day, and trying to get, students to come to some of these activities has been hard and challenging. But that's part of building that culture. There's always that challenge. But once the kids get more involved and the students get more involved, you get more participation, just because that culture building from those students is much easier than me and Miss McKenna walking around saying, "Hey, come be a part of this, come do this." and it's brand new. Sources of Strength is brand new, and these students were kind of nominated and thrown into this, being like, hey, this is what we want to do, and working on how to do it. So I think we're refining it, and the students have done a really, really good job of building this culture already of like, hey, this is a safe spot. Like we're here together. We're all facing the same challenges, and I think when students realize that others are facing the same challenges, it helps build a culture because we all have the same problems, the same issues. So that's why it's super important that peer to peer, student to student, and then obviously with the teachers getting involved. So they're doing a great job. The students are doing a great job, but there's 19 of us, I believe, in the class. So there's only so much you can do in a school of 2,700. So it definitely takes more than just the class to build a culture, for sure.
Yeah, I love the fact that they are nominated by their peers too. I think that makes a big difference just in the fact that they're seen by their peers as somebody they could go to if they struggle with something. April, do you mind talking a little bit about how that peer leader model kind of works? What do student leaders do as part of Sources of Strength in what we do here at Cedar Valley?
Sure, I'd love to. Last year, when we decided that Sources of Strength was going to be something we would engage in and bring to our school, we gathered some teachers and people here at our school to kind of nominate kids that we see, students that we see in our school that are leaders, that draw people to them, that can be good role models and those people that people go to when times are tough. And so we gathered together and we made a big old long list of students that we thought would fit the bill for that, and kind of went through and asked these students to be part of this effort. And I think we picked some great kids to be a part of the Sources of Strength class that Mitchell and Abby are the leaders of, and we hope to include more and more as we continue to build this program here year by year. But what I love is that these students were seen by the adults in the building as being just key players in our school, people that draw people to them, that are good examples of positivity and somebody that they could talk to. So we hope that the other students see these students as well as those people. So
I think it's also important to, like, when we made the decision making with the teachers, and it was a super cool process, was what area of the school these students involved in. So sometimes, you see videos of the quote unquote cool kids, being in these programs, but April made sure that we hit every corner of the school, no matter if it's band or a representative of a certain group, to make sure that everyone feels involved. I think she did a great job at that.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's not a popularity contest. You're not looking for those kids that are on sports teams necessarily, or just in one group within the school, but you're looking throughout the whole school so that we can be united as a school at Cedar Valley. Abby was talking to me earlier today about an upcoming idea she had for an activity she wants to do. Do you want to kind of spell that out on what that's going to look like?
Yeah, so I saw a video on Instagram of this, so it's not fully originally my idea, but
just 50%.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked with the kids about it and they liked it. So next week we are going to have a microphone and camera in the commons during lunch probably, and just a sign that says, "Tell me something good that happened to you today." And the idea is just that kids come tell us something. It can be something little, like I made a new friend today, or someone told me they liked my hair, anything. But it's cool because when we have to think about little things that, oh yeah, that did make me happy, then we start to focus on more positive overall. And we're going to put it all together in a video and post it. And I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I want to see that video and how it turns out, because I think a lot of times kids think about all the negative things and they forget to focus on those positive things. And there are so many positive things that are happening here at school and probably in their lives as well, if they just take time to kind of reflect on that. So Mitchell, talk to us a little bit. So we have kids that do struggle a lot for various reasons. How does Sources of Strength help support those kids who are struggling and may not know how to ask for help?
Yeah, so it's the awareness of knowing there's a program around that is here to help you, and like we said, the students that were selected are hopefully in these areas of the school or represent the school in certain ways that people will look up to, and then we're trying to do a better job of this as well, but involving the teachers. There was a lot of teachers that really wanted to support this sources of strength, and we've been talking as a class of how to involve the teachers too. One thing I'll just go back on real quick is that I don't think the teachers understand how much the students care and want them to know how great they are. We did a gratitude survey for the teachers not long ago, and it was open for 24 hours, and there was over 300 responses by the students, where we asked them to go fill out a Google form, which most students probably look at as being tedious, but 300 people thought it wasn't, and we shared that with the teachers, and there was some emotional teachers because they didn't realize how sometimes how these kids felt about them. So for those students that are struggling, the first thing, sources of strength, they want them to have someone there that can support them. Could be an adult, could be another student, just someone there that you can talk to, and so that's what I think this whole idea is about. But if someone is struggling, is to reach out to an adult first. I would say is probably the best thing to do here with this sources of strength, because there's a lot in this building that care, and then talking about it to someone is really, really important. Normalizing the conversations, because like we said, sources of strength is the prevention beforehand by talking about the good things instead of the how to intervene at the end and when the sad times do come. So if someone is struggling, reach out to either me or Miss McKenna or someone that's close to them, and if they don't have that person, I challenge them to find out who that person could be, because everyone should have someone.
Yeah. It's amazing. Me and April yesterday were actually talking about it's just nice to have that person in life, and I think that's really important. And also, we've done so many different things as far as celebrating teachers this year and making them aware of the impact they make on students' lives through some of the things that we've done and Katie Mayer's done with the celebration stuff. I think it's impressive to see some of the reaction of some of these teachers that had no idea the impact they make on students. And so once again, if we can just make that connection and let those teachers know the difference they're making in students' lives, and let kids know that there are adults in the building that are there for them, I think it's helpful. So April, what role do teachers, counselors, and other adults in the building play in making sources of strength effective in our school?
I think that's a great question, because since, we don't often talk about sources of strength every day, it's hard to know. It's hard to know how to get involved and how to make it effective. But I think as Mitchell was talking about building a culture, it's to build that culture in your little area of your world. Engage in the wheel. Think about your own sources of strength. Share those with your students. Be approachable to your students and to those around you. One of my favorite quotes from Mr. Rogers is, "Look for the helpers." There's always helpers in every building, in every school, in every classroom. There's a helper. You just got to find them. So I guess what I would say is, what role do the adults in our building have is to be the helpers. Show the students that you are a helper and that you want to be there for them. And then also engage in the sources of strength model. Have the wheel up in your classroom. Talk about it. Make it part of your classroom walk and talk. There's just so many things. Engage in the campaigns. Do the activities that these awesome peer leaders are planning. There's just so much that each of us can do to make our school a better place. And sources of strength is a great place to start.
Yeah, every Monday we do a flight plan lesson, and I love the fact that Mitchell and Abby have taken time to create lessons for us. So once a month we try to highlight a sources of strength lesson within our flight plan on Mondays, and so it's a good opportunity for students to kind of learn some of these strategies and some of these other things that go with sources of strength. And I think that's been effective to incorporate that as part of what we do too.
Can I add to that?
Yes,
Eric?
please.
So I spoke to a few teachers, and the last one we did on gratitude, teachers were making it part as an assignment to do, because the gratitude, the last part we asked them to do is to text someone after school, or if the teacher allowed it, I guess, to text someone, how they how thankful they are for them. And one teacher said they had students in their class that was in tears because they text their dad, "Hey, I just want you to know I'm thankful for everything you've done. I love you." That the dad didn't hear that, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this was an awesome moment that the kid and the dad just had in a 5-minute lesson." So I think these Monday lessons are really, really, really good for these students.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. And first, I want to thank you, Mitchell, for texting me that day. It meant a lot to me. Really rough day, so I'll pay you later.
I got you.
And I think that's a challenge that we could actually put out right now on the podcast too. Like, we'd love to see people try it. I've done it at a conference before too, where you just drop everything you're doing basically and reach out to somebody that's impacted your life and make sure they know. Because like I mentioned with teachers earlier in the podcast, teachers don't necessarily know the impact they have on all of these kids. It's the monotony of day in, day out doing the same type of work, and sometimes they don't see that or hear that. And so maybe as a challenge just on the podcast right now, take a minute to just reach out to somebody, send them a text or a quick note, somebody that's impacted your life and that you're grateful for. And if you can be specific about what they've done for you, I think it goes a long way. So I think that's a pretty good challenge at this time of year, especially.
And Derek, isn't it interesting that it is those small things that we do for each other that matter most? It's, grand gestures are awesome, but it is those small, simple things. If you think about it, the sources of strength wheels, they're all huge things, but there are simple things we can do in each one of these strengths to build up each other. So
yeah,
remember those small and simple things are important.
Yeah, and I love that. And it's interesting just working in the office too. There's certain students that connect with certain adults in the building, and we've talked about that as well. But they will come and look for a certain administrator, whether they're assigned to them or not, just because of their experience with that administrator before. Mm-hmm. So there are people within the building for each and every student if they can find those individuals. And we want to always encourage the student to have that person or multiple people within the building that they can go to whenever they feel they're in crisis or they just need somebody to talk to or somebody to listen. And so those people are out there. Maybe just throwing it out to the whole group, if a student or parent or somebody else wants to get involved and learn more about sources of strength, what's the best way for them to connect with our program here at Cedar Valley?
We did make an Instagram account called Strength in the Valley, and we're posting on that, or the kids post campaigns we do and activities that are coming up. So that's something you could follow and see what we're doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. I like that. Any exposure that we can get and give people an opportunity to be involved, that's great.
I would say reach out to the counselors too and tell them the interest that you have in this. Like I said, we have 19 students in the class, and some before we did move on because they didn't take it as seriously. So we want people that want to do action and take action and stuff. So if they're interested, go to their counselors and say, "Hey, I'd love to be a part of this program." And like it says, it's a year-long class, and it's a lot of fun for us to do. So.
Yeah, and we're just starting. I mean, you said this is the first year we fully implemented Sources of Strength as a class. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's encouraging to know that hopefully this will just grow. And I think the more people that we can get involved, the more effective this program can be and the bigger outreach that we can have with it. Any other thoughts on that?
I would just say engage in those campaigns. They are doing campaigns, every month. So when you're in the hallways and you see our Sources of Strength crew, give them a shout out. Do what they're doing. They are awesome kids that are trying to spread some positivity in our school, and engage in it. Engage in that positivity and be a part of it.
Yeah, a lot of times they tell students or individuals in general don't suffer in silence. And I think that happens a lot of times where people hold a lot of these feelings and thoughts and emotions in. And in all reality, all they need to do is start communicating with people, and then people can help. So we would challenge people to get involved any way they can, but look for those opportunities with some of the different things that we do, the campaigns and such, and activities that they can be a part of. And then just reach out if you have questions to administrator or counselor or Miss McKenna or Mr. Hart, and anybody would be willing to engage with you in conversation on how you can best help our students. So, Well, I think that's kind of the time we have for today on the podcast, but I wanted to thank each of you for joining us today. Thank you for being on the mics today and sharing your thoughts on sources of strength.
Thank you.
for having
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It was great.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's good, and we do this every week. So if you have other thoughts on things that we could do with sources of strength, or you guys want to come back on and share some of the activities later in the year, we'd love to have you back on for that too. So thank you all for sharing some time with us today, and we'll hope to see you back on Aviator Airwaves next week. We'll talk to you later.